Hi everybody, welcome to Theo and Olaf. My name is Irene. With me is Olaf, our Samoyed doggy. Believe it or not, Olaf is just shy of 2 years old now. So that's given us plenty of time to reflect on our time with Olaf and what we could have done better. Samoyeds are known to be a very difficult breed to train. They can be very high maintenance. So we want to share the top 5 mistakes that we made as Samoyed pet owners. The first mistake that we made was not properly socializing Olaf as a puppy. So when we got Olaf, we were so excited for him to finally get vaccinated, to play with other doggies, and he had plenty of Samoyed play dates once he got vaccinated. However, what we should have done instead was to do proper socialization, which means taking him to different environments and teaching him to be calm and neutral in those situations. Olaf now has a pretty hard time settling in new environments. He gets really excited, wants to bark at people, at dogs. So what we should have done instead from the very beginning, even before he got his vaccines, was to take him to different places so that he could get used to them. So that means taking him to the mall, taking him to the playground, taking him to the beach, just all these different places where he can get used to the smells and the scents and learn to be calm. The other thing that we did pretty early on was to take Olaf to the dog park. And we did that because we wanted a way for him to burn off his excess energy. In retrospect, that wasn't so much a great thing because now when he sees dogs, he gets really excited. He thinks it's playtime. So what we should have done instead was, instead of taking him to the dog park to play with other dogs, was to bring him outside of the dog park more often so that he would be calm when he sees other dogs. The second thing we should have worked on was to work on loose leash walking from the get-go. We didn't really put Olaf on a leash until later on, and when we did, it was a bit of a struggle because Olaf would keep going under our legs and didn't really know to walk on our left side. We waited until his puppy school to try to work on that, but even then that was a struggle. So in retrospect, what we should have done was to work on making sure that our left side, being on our left side was a good thing and really rewarding for that. So once you get your puppy, or I guess a new dog, make sure that you work on walking properly from the get-go. The third thing we should have done differently was to properly teach the quiet command. The quiet command for Samoyeds is really hard. Samoyeds are a very vocal breed. They love to express when they're happy, angry, frustrated, etc. Looking back, it seemed like we teach the quiet command immediately after Olaf would be talking. So he'd be talking and then we'd go, no, quiet. But we never really captured what quiet actually meant. What we should have done instead was, whenever Olaf actually was quiet without a correction, was to properly reward him so. So even now, just chilling right now, what we could have done is say, good, quiet, and really capture those moments so he learns what quiet is, because quiet is such an abstract concept. The fourth mistake that we made was not making Olaf's crate comfortable enough when it came to crate training. So for those of you who don't know, crate training was a huge struggle for us. It took maybe about a month, maybe more, for Olaf to be fully crate trained. He would bark throughout the night when he was in the crate, and we tried to do sprints of crate training in the morning too, but it was such a huge struggle for us. What we later experimented with was making his crate as cool as possible. So later on, we discovered that using ice packs were a great way to calm Olaf down. And it didn't really occur to us to do that, but it makes sense because with Olaf's thick double coat, he likes to stay cool. So I would highly recommend, if you have a new puppy or you have a dog that's struggling with crate training, try the ice pack. I'm sure it'll work wonders. The fifth mistake that we made was not properly learning how to brush a breed like a Samoyed. And Samoyeds have a thick double layer coat, which makes it really hard to brush properly. So what we would do, even though we got lots of brushes, was that we tended to brush only the top coat of Olaf. And if you don't get into the undercoat of a double coated dog, then it's more prone for them to get knots and matting. So what you want to do instead is do line brushing. So what line brushing means is that you would spread apart the fur of the coat, make sure that you get as close to the skin as possible, and brush against it. That way you get into the undercoat and make sure you get into any knots that are there. So that took us a while to figure out, and even though we had plenty of brushes, we didn't know what to do. So I would say learn line brushing from the get-go. So that's it for the top 5 mistakes that we made as Samoyed pet owners. I hope that was helpful for you. There are probably other mistakes that we've made that we haven't mentioned here. And if you have made these mistakes, or if you're just struggling with managing a Samoyed or training them, don't feel bad. It is very difficult to train and maintain a Samoyed, so we get it. I'm sure you're doing your best, and I hope this video is very useful so you don't run into the same mistakes that we did. If you have any questions or comments about managing a Samoyed, training them, be sure to leave your comment in the description box below. And as always, if you enjoy this content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Thanks for watching.